our number 49. We will be presenting on our travel trip to Europe, which was a very budgeted trip. We were only there for a week and then a week and a half for some others. Presented to you by Anna. And herself. So this is what we'll be going through. Planning our experience, what we recommend, what we would do differently, foreign tips, and then in conclusion overall. We asked this earlier, but who has traveled outside of country?
Not to Europe though.
Not to Europe.
Yeah.
Outside of the country, so not just specifically to Europe, but
Okay, so
all of you guys have traveled outside
I went
the
to
country?
yeah.
Wow, well traveled. Alright, good for you guys. Alright, our goal today is to share our experience. Did we have fun? You'll find out. And then we'll offer tips on how to travel.
So unsure. Did we have fun or
It's a
not?
little unsure. So why Europe? We have the timeline after this, but
yes. Originally, we can go to the next slide. We had planned to go to Coachella.
that's not it.
That's not
Oh,
Coachella.
sorry. Well, anyways, originally we planned to go to Coachella, but then the Coachella tickets were like $500 to $600 per person. And we realized after lodging and figuring out logistics and everything, it'd probably be over $1,000 per person. So we realized, do we really want to go to a music festival that we already been to before?
Correct.
Right? And who was performing that we wanted to? Blackpink.
Oh.
So it's like, we already saw the Blackpink once, and I'm like,
Oh, okay.
for $1,000, we can go on a trip, right? So we committed to go to Europe, and we bought our flight tickets in March
Of this year.
of 2023. So this is our timeline of how we planned everything. And during the time between March and April, we were figuring out our logistics, which we'll talk about later on how we plan. And we left for our trip on May 3rd at 4 p.m. from SFO to London. We took a United airline, right? We took a United airline, and it was a lot of logistic planning in terms of how we wanted to spend our money, in terms of our budget, and where we wanted to stay and what to do. And just quickly, on the 4th, we landed in London. On the 6th, we made it to Paris from London, and from Paris to Rome. By the 8th, we ended up in Rome, and then Henry and I went back to SF, so we split up our group, and Crystal went on to Venice on the 10th before coming home on the 13th. So if you can see from the timeline, we only spent like 2 to 3 days, not even 3, 1.5 to 2 days in each location.
And we chose London because it was at the time they had cheap round trip flights to London. And then I wanted to go to Italy because I've never been. It was like top on bucket list. And then it was like along the way, we might as well just go to France and Paris. And so, yeah. Our day-to-day experience.
Oh, sorry.
So cute.
Although he looks fine.
So we went to London on our first day.
You're talking about Henry.
So it doesn't reflect on the TV.
Oh, no, it doesn't.
Oh, okay.
Sorry.
Well, there.
there.
The first picture is a picture of the Tower Bridge, which is not the London Bridge, by the way. The next is a place called Leicester Square, which is where the William Shakespeare statue is.
What is that?
This is also a stop in Amazing Race.
Oh.
And then that's the London Eye, which is a giant Ferris wheel, and Big Ben.
Big Ben.
Did you go on the Ferris wheel?
We did not.
We're on a time crunch. We only had 1.5 days, you know?
Yeah, so this was our itinerary. So when we first got there, it was a half day in the middle of the day. We took a train through, what is it called? The Tube.
Alright, British accent. The whole time.
The airport to our Airbnb, which was located near King's Cross Station. And that was a very central location for us. That's why we stayed there. And after that, it was a half day. Sam, which is Crystal's boyfriend, was not feeling up to it, so we spent the first half day just looking around because we didn't have anything planned. So we just walked around. Crystal heard of this place called Camden Market, which is where we went. And we also went to King's Cross Station and Platform 9 3/4. We had random foods along the way. You'll find out that we actually did not eat much. We lost weight coming back. So we had the first day, had some snacks, boba, some beer, the necessities, right? Croissants and the national dish tikka masala.
That's crazy, huh?
Wait, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
It is, yeah.
Yeah, that's the national dish. And then day 2 was our only full day, which we hit up all these locations.
Oh, that's it?
And then we only ate English breakfast and some coffee, a fish and chip along the way, and pub food for dinner.
Wait, English
Oh.
breakfast?
Don't forget the beer too.
Oh,
Like
beer.
a tea English breakfast? Like,
Sorry?
what kind of English breakfast?
You'll find out.
Oh,
But did you like drop off your luggage when you first got there?
Yes,
Or-
actually, that's how we travel. That's how Crystal and I travel. We try to put down all our stuff at where we're staying so that we can,
Right.
be hands-free going wherever we're gonna go.
cool.
So day 1, I kind of mentioned briefly where we went to, but this is a part of Camden Market where we had boba. We brought boba and we had a seat there. And then that is also Camden Market where we had beer, and this was beer. And then this was, whose grave was that?
Oh, that's a Dumbledore.
Somebody's grave. So we were having a snack there, sitting in the bench in front, and then we're like looking around, it's like, that's a cemetery. So that's a very important cemetery. It might be,
Is it
No.
King or
Bach.
like
Bach. Yeah. And then boba. Ding tea.
Was the boba good?
No.
What?
We actually found out why, because the water in London,
Ugh.
like their tap water, is not good.
Ew.
So if you're using that to make ice, your boba drinks are not going to taste that good, right? So that was our take on it. And we stayed here in King's Cross Station, which is near the platform 9 3/4, and also St. Pancras Station, which is where we would take the train to go to Paris. We walked all the way over here to Camden Market. So that's St. Pancras Station is right there. We actually stayed somewhere more over here, and then we walked over. And it was only like a 32-minute walk, not bad. Everyone says not bad. Was it walkable?
Did you feel like it was an enjoyable walk?
It was we like walking because we like to see like the neighborhoods and the different stores that we can walk into and just take a look to see how people live and like what there is and stuff like that. So the walk there, I feel like up until past these parks, it was more business, so that was more fun. But between here, it's just a lot of gardens and like schools, so you see like schoolboys in their uniforms and stuff like that.
Aw.
Whoa.
Wait.
We ended up in Camden Town, which is where Camden Market is.
Camden Market, like, they have like trucks or just restaurants or what is it like?
Camden Market's kind of like Pier 39 and Ferry Building in one.
Oh.
Yeah, it's like three or more different structures all combined together, and just a bunch of souvenir shops and like little food stands and stuff like that. Honestly, felt a little bit like a tourist trap, but when in London. So the King's Cross Station is a station where the trains go to. It's not necessarily a train where you take to go other places. It's more of like a local train area where the trains to stop at. St. Pancras Station is more for the kind of leaving the country sort of train. In terms of scenic, it's okay. Oh, I forgot to mention when we went to London, it was actually the King's coronation.
Oh my god.
Wow.
So the day of the actual coronation ceremony was the day that we were leaving. Up until then, there was a lot of celebration and preparations and stuff like that, and King's Cross Station was one of them. We didn't really get to take any pictures because we were jet lagged and we looked like shit. I'll be honest. Like, we just walked around and like took pictures of what we wanted to, but for the most part, we were pretty tired and dizzy.
Yeah.
Fun. I could say you have a lot of fun if you're like a Harry Potter fan. You can go to like platform 9 3/4, take a picture in front of like this shopping cart.
The trolley.
The trolley. There you go. It's halfway in there and you just hold on to it and take a picture. And then there's the architecture, right? The inside of the train station is very nice. The outside, it's okay. Traveling, that's pretty much why you'd want to go there, right? So fun, a little bit, but kind of niche. Accessibility, I'd say it's pretty accessible. It's a train, but it's not in the city center, so that's one thing to consider. Would I go again? Maybe, maybe not, right? You'd really only want to go if you want to see these things, which is like catching a train, seeing platform 9 3/4, the gift shop, if you're into the architecture, and really just to catch a train. This is the pictures that I did get, which is the line. There was no line to go into the gift shop, but there was a line to take a picture in front of the train. It was a really long line. We thought about it, but decided not to. Camden Market was the next place we went to. That was the 32-minute walk. It's mainly for souvenir shopping and trinket browsing, really, like kind of like a tourist trap kind of place. You'd want to go there maybe if you're into photography and food. The food was really tourist trappy, a lot of like
Fish and chips.
Fish and chips.
American foods.
Oh.
So it's
burgers?
like, yeah, like, oh, you can get a burger, you can get a burrito, nachos,
Just like
that kind of stuff. So it's like, we're not really interested in
Yeah.
that. We kept going. Oh, Crystal was really looking into getting a sausage roll and
Did you get it?
something else at this place in Camden Market, but they didn't have it.
We also didn't make. So there's another part of Camden Market that we didn't get to go to, which is like more foodie area. They were like, it's like in the shipping containers, and like they cut out like places, like holes, and like we used to have like their own shops there. By the time we got there, they're all closed, and that was the area that we wanted to eat more at. And so like a lot of people go there to eat and like hang out, like we drink wine, beer, and like, chill after work. But we didn't get to go.
Yeah, this
so.
was like a Friday afternoon. No, it was a Thursday afternoon, right? Something like that. Yeah.
You guys buy souvenirs?
No. You know, we're kind of holding back because maybe we'll find something else somewhere else, kind of thing.
Your first day.
Yeah, it was pretty fun, but then we kept going inside the market. We're like, there's more, there's more, and you'd go into turn a corner and there's more. There's another alley and stuff like that. So like, there's different sections. Like there's an older section of it. I think the umbrella alley is kind of what people go to take pictures of. We had like this croissant, which is pretty funny because we're gonna go to Paris next. I forgot the name of the place though, but they're pretty well known and it's on a lot of food bloggers. There's a little canal where there's like party ships going through.
Whoa. What?
Yeah, we saw a lot of people riding the boats from like corporate events. So there's that. There's also this really cute lamp store. I think this is actually one of the screensavers for Google.
Really?
Yeah, I was like waiting for my Google screensaver to go, and I'm like, I've been there. And that's this. There's also carousel and a lot of hangout spots. And that's pretty much it for our first day. We did have dinner at a restaurant for tikka masala, but I'll go over that later on with the food section. And then we went home after that.
How was the B&B?
The DMV?
B.
Airbnb?
and the team.
Oh, we'll talk about that later. That's a wild adventure. Day 2, it's our full day and our
Whoa.
last day.
I like the museum.
We went to a bunch of museums, yes. We had a breakfast at a small little cafe outside of the British Museum. No, yeah, that was the British Museum. Yeah. This is inside the British Museum. Down there is the National Gallery, which was celebrating for the King's coronation. They covered up the fountain and everything. So some may like it and some people may not. There were a lot of people passing out flyers for like, the King's coronation, so that was interesting. We couldn't see the change of guards up at Buckingham Palace because it was closed for the coronation, so they kind of like did it outside. And then it's the statue right outside of the National Gallery. And I'm sure there's some sort of significance to it, but we don't know. So this is our trip. We walked. We actually took a bus, so we can't put that on Google Maps, but we took a bus from King's Cross Station to the British Museum. But really you could have walked it. Like you can tell that it's not that far of a walk. But we took a bus because why not? It's a double decker.
Ooh.
And And then we went to from the British Museum, we walked through this neighborhood and got fish and chips. And then we went to Chinatown. And next to Chinatown is Leicester Square. From there, we walked to the National Gallery. And from there, the Westminster Abbey, which is where Big Ben is. And then we crossed a bridge, which is, I think it's called the Westminster Bridge, to the London Eye. And then we keep going from there to dinner at the Anchor and Hope. We walked to the Borough Market, which was kind of like the ferry building where there's a lot of food and places to eat. But by the time we got there, it was already really late, so everything was closed. And then we walked to the London Bridge, which I thought was the Tower Bridge, but it is not the Tower Bridge. It's just a random bridge called the London Bridge. And then we were going to go to the Sky Garden, but we didn't know that you have to buy tickets ahead of time. And they had a private event as well, so we couldn't go. And then from there, we actually kept walking to the Tower Bridge.
Why is it Five Guys?
Yeah, why is it Five Guys?
What?
Five Guys Tower Bridge.
We didn't stop at Five
Are they
Guys.
sponsoring the Tower Bridge?
After the Tower
Your
Bridge.
final.
Oh, it's cut off.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, we went to Five Guys to use the bathroom,
Oh.
and then we took a bus home. Yeah.
Do people use scooters there?
They do.
They did have scooters there. Yeah. Henry really wanted to ride the scooter.
Oh, yeah?
But,
Yeah, we did.
we didn't do it. Yeah.
She was dangerous.
Dangerous.
Scooters, bro.
You ride a motorcycle.
Okay, there's a lot of okay, so the first place we went to was the British Museum. And cool thing is that it's a free admission museum. In fact, most of the museums we went to were free.
Nice.
In London anyways.
Oh yeah.
So, in terms of being
That's our stuff.
scenic, it's very scenic. They have this lobby here where a lot of people take pictures of. I think it's really fun looking at stolen artifacts. And then in terms of accessibility, like how easy it is to get to, it's really easy to get to because it's near the city center. Some reasons why you want to go is to look at historical artifacts removed from their country of origin, and see the architecture of the historical building, and of course because it's free, right? And would I go again? 100%, and I would recommend everyone to go because it's free. And what you must do there is, I'm not sure we actually did, but to see the Rosetta Stone. The Rosetta Stone is actually like a block here that historians use to like translate hieroglyphics.
Language program.
That is exactly why they call the language program the Rosetta Stone,
Right?
because it was kind of like the way to figure out what the ancient hieroglyphics meant. Another thing to look at, must do, is to see the statue of Ramses, right? And mummies. They had a lot of mummies. We saw mummies throughout our European trip. And the Parthenon marbles, which I'm not even sure we saw because we literally sped through it because we are on a time crunch.
Oh
We just
yeah.
kept going. And also taking the architecture of the main hall. So that is the statue of Ramses. Mummies, right? The Rosetta Stone. This is the lobby area where there's like spiral stairs going along the side. And this is the statue of Parthenon.
From like Greece.
Yeah, from Greece.
Oh, videos are.
Video time.
IT. IT support.
I don't know if you could actually control it.
Oh yeah.
Okay, yeah.
So this is the lobby area.
Wow.
And once you walk in.
Oh, it's so expansive.
It's very pretty, the ceiling.
It's so big.
So pretty.
There's crystalline
I've seen it in a movie once.
I have it.
Stairs.
Stairs.
No.
Oh, look at those birds.
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 I don't see birds.
They're on the ceiling.
No, I didn't. Oh, so I can click, if I click now, see
Oh.
okay.
Okay.
And then from there, we walked to Leicester Square, which is kind of like a theater district.
Oh, theater.
Who is that with the?
So a lot of Broadway stuff.
Do you see a Broadway theater show?
We did not.
Wow.
We were on
Is it
time
that
crunch.
tall?
Do you have that?
Yeah, it was only like 45 seconds.
Do you still have that? Do you still have that?
2 seconds. 2 second video.
What question?
Wait, Crystal, do you still have that hat? Is that like?
Yeah. Do you have a problem with my hat?
Why didn't you bring it?
Did you buy that there?
No, I bought it in Estonia.
Oh wow.
I don't know what
Is that a part of
It's
London?
another country.
Oh,
Somewhere
okay.
else.
Is that
Yeah,
a
so there's like a lot of people
Azaria?
walking. There's a lot of people
Yeah.
busking as well,
Oh.
like singing and stuff like that. So that's pretty cool.
Do you see anybody pickpocketing?
Right next to Leicester Square. Oh yeah, no.
Not
we're
yet.
too.
Not yet.
We went to Chinatown,
Oh,
which is
what?
right next to it. 'Cause for some reason Chinatowns are always next to theaters, right? It was pretty scenic. There were a lot of these red lanterns, even though Chinese New Year was like 3 months ago, right? This is in May. It was pretty fun. We didn't get to stop to eat anything though. There were some pretty yummy looking places that looked pretty legit and not that much of a tourist trap, but we didn't have time to stop. And it's near the city center, so definitely very accessible. Food, photography, hang out. There were a lot of places to do that. Definitely recommend to go. Really, these are the things that maybe you should try doing, but we didn't get a chance to.
How does it compare to our Chinatown?
I feel like our Chinatown is definitely a lot more groceries,
Yeah,
not
they
so
all
many
have
restaurants. They had a little bit,
Uh-huh.
but I didn't put a picture.
Do they have like old storefronts or is all like new stuff? Or?
It's a lot more restaurants. Maybe a total of 4 blocks, I want to say.
Oh wow.
Yeah, but mainly restaurants, I feel like, and all the restaurants were pretty poppin'. Like a lot of people were eating there. You could see inside, and there was a lot of people waiting in line too.
Like modern restaurants or like
Modern,
small?
yeah,
Oh.
and like takeaway places like bakeries and stuff like
Yeah.
that.
Did you hear any of the like British Chinese people
Did
say?
they speak over British?
Like
Chinese?
yeah, I would have loved to hear like
Cantonese, I think
British
that's some
Chinese.
Cantonese,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Do you think they speak it weird?
I think I saw like 2 or so like grocery shops where they sell actual produce. Maybe some like small like stores that sell like dry foods, those kind of stores. But yeah. And the next place we went to was the National Gallery. I think from Chinatown to here is about a 10-minute walk. Not too bad. It was also free, and it's mainly art. And so if you want to go, people will want to go mainly for the art and the art history if you're into that kind of stuff, right? You can take photographs in there, which is pretty cool, and free admission, as I mentioned. Very easy to get to, and you can see these very beautiful oil paintings up close that look very realistic up close and far away. And there's different rooms and exhibits and rotating exhibits too, so definitely go to everyone.
What's your favorite exhibit?
Like they rotate.
Like
Oh, they
something
swap.
moving,
Oh, they swap.
yeah,
Oh,
to go to a different museum. And then there's seats there, so if you're tired, like we were, you can have a seat. I have a video that I didn't put in.
Whoa.
But the next thing was the Buckingham Palace, which was only around the corner. It was a little bit hectic because, again, it was the King's coronation, so they blocked off a lot of the stuff. As you can tell, it's very beautiful there. I can't say whether it was fun or not because we didn't actually get to go in or get near it, but like it's very close to the city center, so very accessible. Some reasons why you want to go is go inside the palace and watch the actual ceremony of changing the guards, which happens like very specific days, times, and the day, and take some photography. You can actually go inside the palace for only 30 euros, pretty nice. And can watch the changing of the guards and have tea at the terrace, right? How British to do. And they have rotating exhibits, meaning that things come and go. And during the time we were there, even though we couldn't go in, and recently actually, they have a display for the coronation, so you get to see what they wore for the coronation, and also an exhibit on Georgian fashion, like fashion during the period of time.
How often does the guards change?
I think the first one in the morning is at 10, and then I don't know how often after that.
You also need to buy tickets ahead of time.
What?
But we couldn't at the time.
We couldn't even go in.
Well, we didn't know when we were booking it, or when I was looking at the tickets. We didn't know that the coronation was gonna happen. on
Yeah,
this
they actually
weekend.
didn't announce it until
Yeah.
closer to our trip, like
Yeah.
around mid-April, so
Yeah.
we actually didn't know.
Yeah.
And this was as close as we could get to the Buckingham Palace.
Oh my god.
There's actually like a main road for cars to go on, and they opened a middle section for people to cross. and people to see up close. So that's the closest we could get.
Mm.
And it was very crowded. Like this old lady was very persistent. It was behind Henry to get to the rail over there.
She really
And
wanted
then
a
Chris
photo.
was over there like blocking a lady from being in the photo.
Damn, Kristen.
And that's
You
when I
just- you just
discovered
need
this
photos.
thing called 0.5x zoom, right? For iPhones, you can get a wider angle.
Mm.
So that's what we did. And then this is kind of like the arch before you go into the main road over there.
Yeah. It's a very long road.
I think I have a video for this one. Yeah. So people camp out for the coronation. There were people sleeping there overnight in tents.
Damn, this is Black Friday.
But the coronation only happens like once in a while, and,
Oh,
and it's
yeah.
been like 75 years, right?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
there's so many people here.
There'll be one soon.
It's kind of
So
a
many
big deal.
flags. Did you say that we want to sing? That's what I was
Yeah, it's a really short video, but you could tell like how many people were there. And there's also
Oh.
another side too.
Yeah.
So this is the side on the
Is there
park side.
gonna be a parade or something?
They would
Yeah.
go through the middle
Oh, I
to
see.
go to the palace. And then right next to
That's pretty good.
the Buckingham Palace, where we were kind of walking along, is the St. James Park. It's really beautiful in there. We saw a lot of ducks and like duck families. From there we went to Westminster, which is actually like the whole section of historical buildings. It's called the Abbey and it includes the Westminster Palace, the bridge, and as you know, the Big Ben. Big Ben, it's called Tower. Very scenic. You can take pictures from all angles and it'll all look good.
Oh, what is it? That's Mr. Abbey? No, that's not right. That's
No,
not
that's the
a government building? Or?
Big Ben.
Big Ben.
Nah, the building.
I think it's actually the palace. I could be wrong though.
I
We
was-
don't know
I was
anything
scared.
there. We just like put down destinations and went. And
Isn't
then
that what Parliament meets or something?
I think it's the Parliament.
Mm.
You're
Oh,
right.
yeah.
Yeah,
Or
it's
it
the
happens
Parliament.
in Westminster.
Pretty sure you.
Yeah. And then you pretty much want to go there for architecture, photography, and if you're interested in like 20th century London, like Westminster Abbey, that was the show of it.
Never saw that.
Me neither.
Downtown, I think.
Oh, downtown, yeah. Hey,
Downton Abbey. Yeah.
Was the river? Did the river look dirty or clean?
Is it not downtown?
Do you look at the river?
I thought it's
It
looks
just
kinda-
smelled dirty.
It looks kind of brown in this picture.
I don't.
It's a reflection.
Super Jackson.
It was very muggy that day.
Down.
Why do they call it Big Ben? What's up
Australia.
with that?
Oh yeah, tell us.
Is there a no?
Who's Ben?
Who's Ben?
That's the question.
I skipped a lot of what we went to because we just kind of walked around after having lunch and stuff like that, and we didn't really go into the other things, just mainly looking at stuff because we didn't have much time the
I
first
can't
time.
believe you guys did all that in one day.
Yeah, do you see how much we walked? We got like 30K steps. Yeah, we just went to a Tower Bridge, which is the one with like the blue railings and stuff like that. So
Do people walk along
Yeah,
that
do you go
upper
on top
portion?
or what?
That upper portion there between the town. You know, remember?
How
no,
Like,
What is
Is
that
that
for?
is
Oh,
that not accessible?
It's
I
for
don't think
boats,
it's
right?
accessible.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
What?
The
They
top part.
They can the lower portion can rise.
Originally.
Can raise okay, and then
They
That
float.
makes sense though, because boats have to.
I think if you book a tour, you could probably go up there.
really
To
up that
rise
there?
up
Yeah.
over.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So in terms of transportation in London, what happened to my photo?
I see.
Oh, there.
Oh, there.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Ooh.
So all of the buses are pretty much double-decker buses,
Yeah.
Wow.
and it's really convenient because you can pay contactless pay. So you can tap to pay while to get on.
Michael.
Yeah, everything's contactless pay, so that was pretty nice because you could just tap to pay. We didn't have to like pre-buy tickets ahead of time.
You use Apple Pay.
Yeah,
Oh,
I
I
use
see.
Apple Pay.
On your phone.
Yeah,
That's great.
I was thinking,
Is it
yeah,
called
for
something
sure.
else over there?
Apple Pay.
It's like
They don't have like a clipper.
You don't have to buy
No,
Clipper or
yeah.
anything like that. You can just use your credit card and then like pretty much pay as you go, and then they reach a daily cap where they won't charge you anymore after that.
Oh.
And there's even like a monthly cap too. That's pretty nice.
That's so nice.
Nose.
Was it clean?
It knows, yeah, but you pretty much have to use the same style of payment, right? You can't like switch something. What did you say?
Was it clean? Was it like uni?
This was pretty clean, yeah. But there weren't that many seats, but probably because there's like upper
Yeah.
level, but on the lower level there weren't that many.
You guys went upstairs, huh?
Yeah, we did. And the foods we ate, we didn't eat much, as I mentioned.
Why didn't you eat much?
Time
walking.
to sit down.
There are things to do,
That's true,
places to
that's true.
be.
Yeah. So we had fish and chips, which is our snack, And then we had our English breakfast down there, which is baked beans, an egg, some sort of cookie bacon?
Canadian ham.
Oh, you're right, it's ham. And then mushrooms. That was the English breakfast. Crystal had a sausage roll from Greg's, which is like,
You don't mind if I
it's kind of like a fast food chain.
like a hot
And
dog
then
on
tikka masala.
Like
Sausage. English sausage.
Was it a 10
Hey, you
out
guys
of
wanna
10?
drink?
The tikka
Drink of
masala?
any sort.
The meal.
So
What
it's
is
water.
that?
It wasn't what I was
Mini
expecting,
macarons
I'll be
from,
honest.
Johnny.
Thank you.
Oh my God.
Oh, wait,
touch
there's
them all?
macarons?
How'd you
And then-
find? Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Oh no, I was just gonna say like 3 out of those
Oh, oh,
photos, 3
I'll just
out of 4 of those photos are mine. And I
Okay.
was like, and nobody wanted the fish and chips. Like everyone took a bite of it, but like, oh, we're
What
full.
flavor?
Anymore.
Yeah.
Like we barely ate.
The
in the
portion was
beginning.
really big.
Yeah.
It was like a
pretty.
So it's a caramel.
Do you remember where you ate the tikka masala?
You wanna
Where
try
did we eat it? Crystal?
It's the
Can you
hamburger
try
and.
this
No.
Oh, no.
Where did we eat the tikka masala?
By our place.
I know.
King's Cross.
What's it called?
Unknown.
Oh, no, okay, never mind.
Had
Why do you
Thai
is there a
No,
restaurant?
I know there's like Dishoom. That's like a big thing in London.
Okay.
No, just asking. It's just like a restaurant.
Oh, is it like Michelin star level?
No, but it's like just one chain. Yeah, it's a chain. Well, it's like the 3 of them.
Yeah, we didn't really know where to get it. We just
Yeah.
kind of like picked the place with the highest reviews on
Yeah.
Google,
Yeah.
and was convenient for us.
Yeah.
So some fun facts
Mhm.
is that the tap water I mentioned in London is not delicious. It has like a greasy film to it, akin to like LA water.
Mhm.
You know, if like people who live in LA, like
Those pipes are from like 1700.
That was kind of hard though. I mean, it's like
I would say the water's hard.
it's
Yeah.
hard water.
Yeah, like I saw the shower in our Airbnb. There was a lot of lime scale.
Okay. And did it not like wash off soap, etc. Like your hands with water or whatever?
We only showered once, so I can't
Okay.
say.
It might be.
In your
It's like, oh, this grime. No, but like like all of us when we drank the water, we're like, there's a film to this water. So we all bought bottled water, and I would recommend that.
Some water's too good.
Yeah,
And people
and
who test it.
that's the brand I liked. I ended up buying another bottle of water, and I didn't like it, so I would definitely recommend that brand. Another thing is that people drive on the left side of the road,
Oh, yeah.
so it's different. When you're crossing the street, like you're used to looking right, left, and then left, right, and then left again. Like, you'd have to do it again. I did the reverse.
That doesn't make any sense.
So be careful when you're crossing the street. And I didn't know this, but I had a lot of currency, like coin currency from London or UK, and I thought I would be able to bring it and use it. But there's actually discontinued coins. Specifically, the old £1 coin, it's no longer legal tender. So I had like 15 of them, and I was trying to spend it all there.
Wait, where'd you get those? What?
Sorry, I forgot it. Where'd I get it? I don't know. They're just at home somewhere.
Oh.
Yeah, I was just like, oh, cool, I can bring this to you. And then they were like, oh, you can't use these anymore. I'm like, what do you mean? This is money.
No way to convert
Take
them.
my money.
You're under arrest.
Like, this is real money. What do you mean I can't use it? And apparently, yeah,
It's real
it's
fake
no
money.
longer legal tender. That's what that was really interesting to me.
That's fine.
And some common phrases we ran into
Oh,
were
Cute.
This is probably my favorite
Get
spot.
in the queue.
like getting queue,
Yeah.
the lift,
Oh.
right?
Like-
The thing in the elevator.
The elevator.
It's called the lift. And that's where Hong Kongers, they say leap instead of Din Tai.
Oh.
It's from British.
Oh.
The loo, right? I did have to pay for the bathroom once at Camden Market, but the machine was broken, so I helped it. But you would technically have to pay to use the public bathroom sometimes. The car park,
That's a modern park.
chips. Where are chips,
It's
guys?
French fries.
Wait, what's
Car
car
park.
Parking
Oh yeah,
lot?
but the car park. Do you know what a car park is? I thought
Parking
you were-
lot.
It's a
It's
parking
the
lot.
parking lot. Yeah.
What?
Yeah. It's where the cars park.
Park.
Is it like a garage or a driveway or is it?
A garage. They'll say garage.
Oh, a garage?
Garage. Crisp.
Potato chip. Fine.
What are chips, right?
fries.
Potato chips.
Oh.
Take
Oh,
away.
Takeaway.
Not
Instead of
take
saying
out.
to go,
Oh.
you get a takeaway.
Bro, I said that all the time.
You're so uncultured.
Garbage.
The bill. I mean, we say that here
I
too.
say bill,
Yeah.
not the check again.
They say the bill, yeah. And then the crossroad.
Ah.
You would say like the intersection, they would say the crossroad.
There's also lorry.
Oh,
There's a
yeah.
truck.
You guys,
Yeah,
you guys
that
hear any
one.
curse words?
And there's trousers. Yeah, dude, was anybody like, oh, those
Blocks.
No. I don't really remember even engaging with any locals.
Yeah.
I feel like Quaker a lot.
Wait, what?
Didn't make any friends.
Do hobnobbers.
Yanks.
Bloody
They call you
good morning.
Yanks.
Probably because we're Asian, right? Anyway,
Oh.
so that morning we left to go to Paris.
That's so cute.
And to do that, we took the Eurostar train,
Oh.
which departs from St. Pancras Station in London.
Pankers.
It also, yeah, it sounds like
Thanks.
Pancras.
Yeah, I thought of Pancras too. But it's right across from King's Cross Station. And you know how they say when you go to Europe, you can pretty much take a train to anywhere?
Yeah.
So I was under the impression that would be very inexpensive, but it's
Oh.
actually around the same price as a plane ticket.
What the?
Yeah. But it's more lenient in the sense of like you don't have to go through bag checks, and you can bring more onto the train. Like you can bring 2 check-in bags pretty much.
Oh, wow.
And for people who are scared of flying, good alternative. And we pay like 149 euros for a one-way train ticket. That's around like how much is that, guys? 180? Yeah, something like that. So it's like around the same as the flight.
So it's like, from here to LA.
So it wasn't cheap, but it wasn't expensive either.
Maybe because the coronation.
No, I wouldn't say it's the coronation. Because what, you would come into the city, right? You wouldn't be leaving the city.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah.
Maybe there are a lot of like anti-royalists who are like, fuck, I'm out of here, see you
There
later.
were a lot of people passing out pamphlets that was just like, oh, the monarchy is blah blah blah.
Abolish the monarchy.
Wasting our money,
Yeah,
wasting our
dude,
resources.
Jesus.
Democrats.
Down with the king.
Oh, the big difference though between like a train and a plane is that the train station is in London.
Oh.
Whereas like if you were to take the plane,
London.
you'd have to travel outside. Yeah. Yeah.
That,
Yeah, you'd have to like take a long.
It's more for
way to get there.
convenience. Yeah.
Yeah, and it was only 2 hours and 16 minutes.
Mhm.
So it wasn't that short and it wasn't that long. Perfect amount of time.
was it
And the customs is done in London, so once you get to Paris, you just get off and go where you want.
Customs.
Is it scenic? Is it
Yeah,
up or are
between
you
countries.
down
I
below?
thought they were all one.
Down
It's
below.
down below before it goes up.
Not England anymore.
Oh,
We're underwater.
Right.
Yeah, we went underwater to cross the island to
Yeah, you went to a different
European
landmass.
continent, and then it was all land after that.
I'm just not part of the Western world anymore.
So if you're booking tickets with a big group, you should book it all at once so that you guys can get assigned seats together. Because that's how they assign the seats.
Wait, when you were on the train, were you able to like get up and walk around the train? Were
Yes.
there, like, eating cars.
Is there a trolley lady? with
There was a
snacks?
cafe where you can get food.
Harry Potter.
Pretty much once the train started, you could go and get food.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then here's the menu. They had like desserts, they had baguettes, and
How was the
croissants.
Vienna soiree?
We had did we both get the same thing? It was like the smoked salmon one,
Oh.
the salmon, cucumber, and dill baguette. And then we got coffee, which wasn't that good.
Really?
Wow.
So because we booked together, we were able to sit in like a 4-person kind of
Look at each other.
booth. Yeah, and then we could face each other.
You got it.
Yeah, and we had like phone charging
Wow.
USB thingies, but you probably don't want to use those. And they have overhead luggage and stuff like that.
Scary.
The voltage is different.
Yeah, but there's not that many attendants walking around telling people to be quiet. So it's pretty noisy sometimes. We were next to like a wedding party.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and they're just going on, going on.
Oh, so nice.
Yeah, it was pretty
Americans.
American. So Paris. When we got there, it was around noontime.
Wow.
Oh,
And
wow.
these are just some snippets before we delve into the main part, right? So that's like a garden outside of the Louvre, the
Oh, good.
Tuileries Garden.
You're past the croissant.
That's the Louvre itself, which is a museum for art. That's in the Louvre. Crystal with her coffee, what's new, right? Me shopping. Henry walking around this area near the canal. The Eiffel Tower is right behind him in his
Where?
head.
Oh.
Oh.
And then Crystal and Sam taking a selfie. Eiffel Tower's not even in there, bro. And then the Arc of Triumph.
Is that where the big roundabout thing is?
Yes, that was a stop for Amazing Race as well.
Also Russian race.
So overview of what we did. Day one was our first full day because we got there around noontime. We only went to the Louvre, and And my friends actually told me, or like
Oh, the
my
bathroom?
coworkers,
The bathroom?
no.
The-
The Louvre. The Louvre. My friends actually told me that it would need like 3 hours at least there. And so pretty much we spent our whole day there before going shopping and then eating afterwards, which we had a baguette during an intermission at the Louvre. Crystal had a muffin, we had macarons at the end of it, we had escargot, beef tart, creme brulee,
Can you put out the table?
and coffee for dinner.
How was the escargot?
This
Escargot, was it?
escargot,
Yeah.
you can get that here.
But was it good?
Was it good? It's like basil pesto flavor, you know? It's just more of like the texture if you're not used to eating snail.
It's
It's not slimy as much as it is like hard and chewy. Kind of like a clam. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, and then the day 2 was another full day. So I think we had the most time in Paris. Mainly probably because we took land travel instead of air travel. So that saved a lot of time going through the customs, boarding and offboarding. So day 2 we went to the Pantheon, which is kind of just like a government building-ish thing. And then the Shakespeare Cafe, which is what Crystal wanted to go to have coffee, and also a famous bookstore there. And across the street is the Notre Dame, which is, as you know, burned down a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
And then there's the famous canals, and then the Tuileries Garden, which is attached to the Louvre, which we didn't get to for day 1. And we went to the Arc de Triomphe before walking to the Eiffel Tower. And we had charcuterie boards, French onion soup, duck, filet mignon, Café Cuisine, which is the famous cafe, or very trendy cafe rather, cocktails, oysters, beef, fish, pasta, steak, and wine.
Whoa,
So our first day, we arrived at Gare du Nord, which is the train station where you arrive in on Eurostar. And from there we took a train to go to our hotel in the Montparnasse area, which is also where the catacombs are, by the way. But we did not go to the catacombs. And we settled in the hotel. So previously we stayed at Airbnb, right? I forgot to mention. The Airbnb in London, not it.
Oh.
It was not it. It had 0 stars, and we took our faith in it. We took our faith in being one of the first guests that didn't leave a review. And don't do that. I would recommend to, if you have the money, definitely stay at a hotel. It would be a little bit better. Yeah. And also I forgot to mention, the weather in London was very similar to Seattle. It's like a little muggy, foggy, like the sun peeks out a little bit. And that was kind of how it was throughout our trip there anyways, just because it was right before a storm came, so we were lucky in that aspect. Yeah, so we settled in a hotel, and the hotel is definitely a breath of fresh air compared to the Airbnb we stayed at in London. We stayed in our own rooms, we had our own rooms, and it was a little bit cramped because it was a budget hotel called the Ibis, right? But it was nice in the sense that it was a hotel instead of an Airbnb.
Wait, what was wrong with the Airbnb?
What was wrong with it?
More like right with it.
That's a whole other slide.
The showers was upstairs,
Okay.
and the toilet was downstairs.
Huh.
And we didn't know, but the floors were heated.
Ooh.
And then we had chocolates
Wait,
in our bag. Really, every day we came back, or like every time we came back, we're like, why is our luggage still hot?
Yeah.
Like, was it from yesterday? Like the heat is still there? No, they had heated floors.
Cool.
They
And
didn't say.
then another thing was just that it wasn't very well kept. You know, like dust and dirt, hair everywhere,
Wow.
that kind of thing. And then the lock was a little bit janky.
Wow.
No Wi-Fi as well.
Oh my goodness.
That's the most
Oh, there was, but
important.
there was like janky Wi-Fi. It was like a little
Hotspot. It was a
hotspot. Yeah.
Was
the
it
big
like a
bar.
town?
I'm giving your guest a hotspot Wi-Fi.
Barbarian.
Was it like a townhouse or just like a
It was kind of like a flat, right?
just a regular ass?
It was in a pretty quiet neighborhood, and it was above an establishment, but the establishment wasn't like
It wasn't like an
business?
old school
no.
building.
Yeah, I would say the architecture inside was pretty modern, but then it was like just not well kept.
Yeah.
Yeah. Typical Airbnb, you know. But anyways, we settled in a hotel. It was really nice, and then we had reservations to go to the Louvre, which we pre-bought tickets for. So we were in a rush to meet the museum deadline.
Mona Lisa.
Oh yeah, and this is us walking to our hotel
Yay.
in the street.
From the train.
Yeah, in the train. Okay, and we stayed here in this area with our is how we planned our trip, helped us plan our trip. So we stayed here, which is a little bit of a way to the downtown, or like the main area where people go to hang out and stuff like that for tourists. So we had to take a bus to go to the Louvre, which was over here. So the Louvre, you've heard of Mona Lisa. This is where she's housed. And it's basically a giant art museum with some history splashed in it. Like there were mummies and historical artifacts in there, but for the most part, it's mainly art. There are different sections for different exhibits for each type of art. Like there's one for mainly paintings, one for statues, one for like non-European stuff, and the history of like the Louvre in general. So the Louvre is really an old palace before they moved the palace, because different kings pick different palaces or sometimes. So this is actually a former palace, and afterwards they use it to, I guess, host art and stuff like that. But I would recommend, if it's a rainy day, we should go to the Louvre, because you can spend like 3 hours in there away from the rain. Otherwise you can't really find shelter to wait out the rain. But I would also recommend to pre-buy tickets online, because when we got there, we were so lucky that we had tickets, because there was some super insane lines to go inside of the museum. And these are just people that are like waiting on hold to see when they can get in. They're not like necessarily people who already have tickets, so they just decide to go. So definitely pre-buy the tickets online. We pre-bought it a week ahead of time, because we didn't think we were even gonna go. And then after asking, everyone was down, so I bought the tickets. It was only like $19, so pretty worth it if you're into seeing the Mona Lisa.
Who's not recommending?
Why would I recommend it? If you're into art, it's not that good use of time in Paris, where there's a lot more things to do. So if you're not into that, I wouldn't recommend to go, because you have to pay to go in too. There's also pretty decent food inside. They have like baguettes and muffins and croissants and stuff like that. And at the end of the museum, it's kind of like a reward. There's a whole shopping center at the end. So you finish your museum and there's a whole giant shopping mall where you can buy stuff. So that was nice. And a video of the Mona Lisa. That was the first thing we went to when we got there, but this is the whole montage.
Whoa, look at that.
Montage.
Yo, how much is that on Zillow, bro?
Yeah, so the former palace, right? And you can't see, but there's like a giant line right in front of the
Wait, what is the big
thing.
pyramid thing?
The pyramid is actually the entrance.
Oh, really?
Yeah, there's a line moving around. Yeah, so you go down from the pyramid.
Oh, it's
So it's
definitely
underground.
It just kind of opens up.
There's so many people in there with not that well ventilated AC.
What?
Yeah,
Was
it's
this a
really
weekend or a
stuffy.
weekday?
It was a weekend.
Oh, I see.
But it's definitely better than Rome.
Yeah.
Damn.
But the art was very
You guys are on
realistic,
speed
right?
appreciation.
What was being done.
Oh, yep, yep.
The first thing we did was like, we're going to the Mona Lisa.
It happens a little faster at the Louvre.
Look at everything else.
And this is like where the Mona Lisa's housed. And I'm sure you've seen stuff online where it's like, oh, painting's actually not that big, and it's true. And this is a line actually to see the
Mona Lisa.
Mona
We
Lisa.
get in
up close.
line.
Whoa! Why was that guy take pictures?
Alright.
So instead of waiting in line, you can actually go up to the side, which is what we did.
Oh, I see, I see.
That's smart.
Cool.
Nobody needs to
Now
be
I
in
know.
front.
Just go under.
Now I don't
Zoom in.
Dang, that's some good quality.
Wow.
Is it looking at you?
The smile.
Did you make eye contact?
Is it not smiling? The actor has to
And then yeah, you just keep walking, and there's like a lot. This is the painting exhibit, so there's a lot of like art. But we just came from the National Gallery, so it's like been there, done that. Like this is enough art for us. And there's like the statue, and the architecture of the palace as a whole is really nice.
Did you
I'm so tired walking.
What's that?
I'm just so tired.
It's really lifelike.
So tired.
Did you guys walk the maze?
So tired. We're sitting down, and then we're just walking around. More exhibits. We spent 3 hours in here. We really did, yeah. This is the bottom of the Louvre, which is pretty cool.
Ooh.
And that's like the whole entire museum.
It's the Lego museum.
And that's the Tuileries Garden up here. So I think that was like a highlight of the Paris trip. And then at the bottom part, you can actually see like the old places. Was that a jail? Like the downstairs?
Oh,
I
that
think it
makes
was like the
sense.
bottom part of the castle.
The bottom part of the
previous
castle, yeah. We asked if you can touch the walls, and they didn't let us touch the walls.
Oh, that's 'cause
People
you
still
asked.
touched it though.
Yeah,
So.
don't ask.
Sometimes accident.
Crystal was like, "Can we touch the walls?"
I touched it anyway.
Oh yeah.
What do you feel like?
And then afterwards,
Dry.
we actually just went shopping, and then we had dinner,
Mm.
which we'll show what we ate later. But then day 2, we woke up feeling refreshed, and we had some unfinished shopping to do.
Oh.
We went to the places we wanted to shop at, and it was actually raining, so on and off. But before we went back to the downtown area, we kind of stopped at a few destinations, which included the Pantheon over here, which is funny because it's kind of like a replication of what's in Rome too. So we walked here and saw the Pantheon before going on to the Shakespeare Company for coffee. And we sat there and looked at the Notre Dame before going closer to the Notre Dame. We thought we could go to the Sainte-Chapelle to see stained glass because that's what Notre Dame is known for, the stained glass of the church. And then people online said that Sainte-Chapelle you can actually see even nicer stained glass, but we didn't know there was admission fee and there was also a long line, so we just didn't go in there. And then we went back to the area where we were in, the Louvre, and we did our shopping. Crystal went to Queen, I went to Chloe, and then
What are those?
afterwards,
What did you buy?
What brands are those?
Where's your purses?
I wanna
Show us your
see.
purses.
One of them's over there.
no, that's not that. I wanted to buy that in London, but we didn't get to go to the store. So I
What
bought
did you
it
buy?
What does it sell? What's going on?
There's a bag
What
over
is that?
there.
Oh, these are bags.
Yeah.
Oh, bags.
It's the black one.
Yeah.
Oh.
Next to Claudia, if you see a
Oh,
black
Oh, she
bag.
Crystal
over
got
there.
that one, yeah. If you see.
Hold it
Yeah.
up, hold it
How many
up.
euros? How many?
Yeah.
My hands are dirty.
Yeah, she got that.
Damn, I came with some nice bracelets.
And then from there we were gonna go to the Eiffel Tower or the Arc, but then there was a riot because during the time it was the riot. Pretty good. There's just a lot of random restaurants and bistros along this area. So honestly, people online said it as well. Anywhere you go to is pretty good, and it's true.
So Notre Dame is the whole little island thing?
This year. Yeah,
Does
pretty
it
much
take
this
up
whole
the whole-
section is Notre Dame.
Oh, just that section. Okay.
Yeah.
Because it's Saint Chapelle
Yeah.
on the other side. This is Chapelle.
Yeah, so we took the underground to the Arc of Triumph and then walked to the Eiffel Tower, which is 32 minutes
My
by the way.
goodness.
Thanks a lot, Kristen.
Kilometers. You're shorter than
We didn't
mine.
want to pay.
We were under the impression
fault.
that we would see a lot of stuff along the way, but really it was just a lot of residential housings and like big places to live.
That was only 32 minutes.
Only.
I think by here I was tired already. And it was raining too.
Raining.
On and off, on and
On
off.
and off.
Part of the
Yeah.
experience.
That's good.
It's the Pantheon. We don't know anything about it other than this big building.
Uh,
We took a picture of it and we left to
nice.
go to the Notre Dame. The Notre Dame, right, is a famous landmark known for its Gothic
I need
architecture,
20%.
and you would go there to people watch because it's burned down now.
Oh.
And they have this section right in front of the Notre Dame where there's a bunch of bleachers, and people just sit there and stare at like the remaining side of the Notre Dame while they're watching the reconstruction of it.
It's gonna take forever to
What
match.
are they waiting for? Let's go.
No, they gotta do it properly with all the historical societies being.
So this is where we couldn't go, which is Sainte-Chapelle. You see there's like long lines outside. Not really, but there was longer
This
lines.
is a separate building.
It's like
Park.
5 blocks down.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a completely different establishment. But it looks like this inside, which we didn't get to go to.
What's it like?
And then after we ate and shopped, we went to the Tuileries Garden, which is connected to the Louvre, right? Remember we saw the video earlier, it's like a giant garden. There's different sections of the garden, kind of similar to Golden Gate Park, where there's different sections where the buffaloes are, Stowe Lake, that kind of stuff. They have a Ferris wheel. They put a Ferris wheel on that.
Did you go on the whale?
Did not.
No,
Henry's scared of
I don't
heights.
have time.
And we didn't have time. I think it's how long a Ferris wheel ride is.
Actually, yeah, that's true. I'm kind of stuck there for a long time.
Yeah.
Like a jail cell.
Yeah, like people can get married there, you know, a lot of fountains and gardens. Oh, they have a main fountain, very scenic. You can have a picnic there. People watch. Definitely recommend it. And then, as we said, we took a metro to go to the Arc of Triumph. We had no idea how to get to the middle. If any one of you guys went,
How do you do
It's
that?
like further underneath.
Oh, what?
you hear that, Crystal?
What?
You go underneath to go to the Arc of Triumph. We were like, how do you cross the street to
You
go?
just go
Which
for
is-
it.
You could!
Just run.
Did you watch John Wick 4 when they were fighting?
Some of my coworkers were like, John Wick. But yeah, we had no idea how to get to the other side. And this is where I paid to use the restroom because there was no restrooms inside the mall area.
What?
Wait.
Yeah, we tried to there was a little establishment where we got water and stuff like that, but there was no public restroom, so I had to go underground. No, they didn't have one. Yeah, and I paid €2 to go to the bathroom. But it was really nice because then they would like mop after you pee and then like give you little things to wipe your hands with, that kind of stuff.
A moist helmet.
And this is the Eiffel Tour, 30-minute walk
Sound French.
from Arc de Triomphe to the Eiffel Tour. Tour de Eiffel, rather. And then it was cherry blossom season. So there were cherry blossoms, it was really nice.
That's a thing.
People watching people get potentially scammed, watching people scam the scammers. That was really nice.
How do you scam a scammer?
Crystal will talk about scams later, but briefly, we witnessed one of the scams was that you take a picture with this, kind of like Disneyland, right? They have a whole bunch of balloons. Was it balloons?
No. Disney characters, like Mickey Mouse.
No. The one where we were just standing on the side
Oh,
and
yeah,
watched
balloons.
that girl finesse.
And
It was
robes,
balloons,
yeah.
So you just hold on to the balloons and take a picture in front of the Eiffel Tower, right? Kind of like Disneyland. You hold on to the balloons. And then you're supposed to pay them afterwards, right? And then the girl refused to pay. So she finessed the scammers. So that was pretty interesting to watch. Like, it would lead to a fight. But the things people would do also to take a picture in front of the Eiffel Tower, cars actually go in front of the Eiffel Tower. People would literally stand in the middle just to get that Instagram photo. The things people would do, man.
Did you wait for the sparkle?
The next picture is you guys in the street.
There's actually, I don't know if we have pictures of it, but there's actually a park across from the Eiffel Tower. So there's a street in front of the Eiffel Tower, but there's a park across from it. And you can go to the top of that park area and you can see the Eiffel Tower across the street.
Someone came for you.
Okay. So you can take a picture like that, or you can get up close. But when you get up close, it's harder to get the full shot, and also you can see like the ghetto part of the Eiffel Tower, which is that little patch right here that they're like or something like that.
There's a baby here.
But yeah, that's like what you kind of don't want to see in your pictures, right? So that's the difference, getting close versus being far away. And travel in Paris, it's really backwards compared to how convenient London was. I wasn't able to bring the ticket, I had it, I bought it. But there's literally these like single ride tickets. We didn't stay there long, right? So definitely you can get like the monthly passes, or, like their version of a Clipper card and stuff like that. But we only paid like the one-way pay, and they're just these small tickets that are like this big. And it's like a weird combination of how to use them efficiently. So you can do bus, and then you can use one ticket, or you can do bus metro, something like that, or metro, in order to maximize the use of the ticket. But we never really got to do that, and we just bought a giant stack of tickets for $50 or something like that.
Oh shit.
One-time use.
One-time use per person, and then they're really sensitive to being demagnetized. So I'm over here with like a whole rubber band stack of bus tickets. Like, all right, kids, here's your bus tickets to get on. And sometimes they would fail and stuff like that. So it's really backwards compared to where we came from in London with contactless pay. And then food in Paris. Food in Paris was the best food that I had. I really enjoyed the food there. I ordered the beef tartare like twice. And escargot is pretty much just like pesto and snails. And then we went to Cafe Cuisine, trendy cafe. We had macarons, which I saw people passing around. We had some French onion soup. It was very strong smelling of French onion soup. We had a charcuterie board, and it's true, French butter is very, very good, and as well as their pate, very good.
What's pate?
And their baguettes, very good.
Uh-oh.
We had croissants, and I'll be honest, the croissants in Paris are not as good as the croissants we have in San Francisco.
Wow.
disagree.
I
It's
think
true.
so.
I think it's true. I don't know about Crystal. Is that true for you?
Honestly, we didn't eat a lot of croissants. We didn't eat a lot in general. We had like
That's our main point from this whole.
no, and we realized this afterwards too. We're like, damn, we really didn't eat that much in the beginning. But like, we probably had like 2 croissants in Paris. Yeah, they were really buttery. But had they been like warm and like a little bit more crunchy on top, it would have been like amazing. Yeah.
And I confirmed this with a lot of my coworkers, and they were like, yeah, the croissants in Paris, or I don't know necessarily about France, but in Paris, they were really buttery, like overly buttery, where it left the film in your mouth.
Yeah.
So I think San Francisco is such an international city, and we have like well-known chefs
Yeah.
come from like French and France and stuff like that to make these croissants that I think taste better than San Francisco. We also had creme brulee and profiterole, which
What's
is
that?
like kind of like a cream puff with chocolate syrup on top. The
Oh.
server was telling Henry how he made a good dessert choice, so I guess that's a popular one.
What's the last thing? Was out the Chez Fernand.
Oh, Chez Fernand. That's the restaurant we ate our dinner at, and we had the best meal.
Wow.
Did I put a photo? Oh, I didn't put a photo in. But we had a video where we ordered a lot of really, really good food, and we had a bottle of wine. Crystal ordered, I forgot what she ordered, but I ordered pasta, and to me, the pasta tasted better than the pasta I had in Italy, so that was a shocker, right? Henry had filet mignon, Sam had some sort of fish, and Crystal had
The beef or it was like pot roast, but like French style.
Yeah, and this is a lot of reviews on Google reviews, and that's like the thing too. Like, there's no Yelp in Europe, so you're relying on Google reviews and stuff like that. So they may or may not be the most accurate ones because made by tourists. But it was I definitely think it's worth it. And a lot of friends I know that went to France afterwards without me initiating also went to Chez Fernand. So I would recommend. So some common phrases that we encountered in Paris was bonjour.
Hell yeah.
Everyone know what bonjour is?
Hello.
Hello. Good morning.
Say goodbye.
That's what it means. Next one is merci.
Merci.
What does that mean, guys? Everyone know?
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Excusez-moi. Excuse me, right? Oui and non. Yes and no. Bonsoir.
What's
Good
that?
night.
Good night.
Good evening. Au revoir. Bye. And oh yeah, I did put it dinner. I thought I did. So yeah, I had pasta.
Oh,
I had a pot roasting. Someone had a beef marrow thing. I think that was Henry, right? Mashed potatoes and
Look
beef
at that.
marrow.
Oh.
Just a mashed
And Sam had fish.
Oh, that was good.
We had wine.
A bottle of wine. Do we have an appetizer? I don't remember.
I don't know. We got dessert though.
I remember that.
Did you have to make reservation? Did you have to
No.
make reservation?
No.
Oh, he's good there.
Walking.
Yeah.
And they even pulled out the English menu for us.
Yeah.
They knew.
So leaving Paris, we took an Uber. We were originally going to take a train to go to the airport for our flight to Rome, but we decided an Uber would be the same price, so might as well Uber for comfort. We had to check in our bags, and we went through inspection, customs, and boarded our flight to Rome. One thing about the Paris airport that we went to was that they're really strict about the 3-ounce bag rule. Like, and you know, in SF, you can like just stuff everything in there, and they don't really care. They're really strict about it. They're like, put all your liquids in here, and they even pulled us back and was like, you need to put all your liquids in this bag. So luckily, Henry didn't have that many liquids, and I threw it in. All right, and Crystal will be talking about Rome.
Whoa! Wow, it's so colorful.
Thank you.
There's a dude on the moon, bro. That's crazy. The Roman moon's crazy, yo.
The one looks different now.
So we left Paris via airplane and we went to Rome. Just collage photos. So we had a half day, and it wasn't really even a half day. It was like a quarter day. By the time we got to the Airbnb, and so the first the things that we looked at was Trevi Fountain, Pantheon, and Spanish Steps, and then we just ate an Italian dinner, which consisted of clams, pasta, charcuterie board, and then gelato. And then for our day 2, which is like a full day for us, we did a lot of walking. And so we went to the Vatican City, which within the Vatican City is the Sistine Chapel, St. Peter's Basilica, and then we left Vatican City and went to the Colosseum, the Roman Forum, and then a little food neighborhood. It's called Trastevere. Trastevere, yes. And the food that we ate.
Museum.
Museum.
Yes.
Which museum do we have? I don't remember. We had panini, croissant, a coffee, pizza, pasta, salad, more pizza, then tiramisu, and then wine. So our day 1, we got there late, and so it was just like a mid-dinner, and then we went to go like see beautiful architecture, photo taking, and gelato, and then we also walked around a lot. And so this is us leaving the airport. Took a train to the Roma Termini, and then
Do the accent.
we walked 13 minutes to our Airbnb, which is not bad when you have just a backpack, but if you have like a suitcase, you're rolling it on cobblestone. And so it's a little hard. It's just kind of like announcing to everyone that like, hey, I'm a tourist.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah.
Super loud.
So this is our Airbnb. It was a very lovely Airbnb. There were like 4, 5 rooms in there, and there were 3 bathrooms, and it was for a great price. And so, bathroom. There's another bathroom I didn't put a picture in here for. That's the lobby. That's the view. There's one of the rooms. There's another room. There were like 2 other rooms. I didn't
So
take pictures
everyone
of.
got their own room.
Literally.
And
we had
more.
excess room.
Our
And
luggage had room.
Yeah.
Did this one have a review or you guys?
It had a lot of reviews.
It was for a good price too, for the amount of rooms and bathrooms in there. And then this was our walk to the Trevi Fountain.
So much walking.
We walked a lot.
That's why you lost.
I told you guys. Yeah, also because we didn't eat a lot. So, you know. But we did walk to the Trevi Fountain after our dinner. It was only like a 15-minute walk though. And this is the Trevi Fountain. We went in the evening.
So it wasn't
Was
crowded?
it less
or-
people?
It was less people.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Not a whole lot of people. There was still a good amount, but it wasn't like crowded and like packed in like sardines. Also very beautiful at night.
Did you throw a coin in there?
No.
They don't
What?
We didn't have money to spend like that.
There's some
Where's the coin
Yeah.
So the reason why we went was because it was iconic, of course. And it was like photographic, and it was like very historic, and like the fountain has been there for a while, a very long time. And so,
Who said no?
who said no?
Oh,
way.
Oh, 25%. I put 25%.
You said no?
I would like 25%. Like I would go back again.
Oh.
I'm not gonna like go halfway there.
Just like a once in a lifetime.
Once a lifetime.
I'm like I would go once and like that's it.
Yeah.
Right? Because then 1, it was crowded. Even at night. 2, it's so easy to be pickpocketed there
Really?
because everyone's like next to each other, just like roaming around. And yeah, it's hard to take pictures sometimes with so many people. But I will say it was scenic. 75% scenic.
I would hope so.
Fun, 20%.
Oh.
Because I mean, like the fountain's nice to look at, but in terms of like having fun there, you're only going there to take photos,
Yeah.
right? You're not doing a whole lot there. Accessibility, it's definitely walking distance, and like a bunch of other restaurants and like stores around the area. In terms of ADA accessibility, not that accessible. Shut up. There were steps there, and it was like if you were to go as a person of disability, it might be a little hard to get down to the fountain. But with some help, you know, it'd be great. Anyways, must do. Avoid pickpocketing. Because we did overhear people say, like Asian girls were like, they got pickpocketed, blah, blah, blah.
no.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
just keep
from
your stuff in
San
front of you. And then obviously you take photos, and then go early in the morning or in the evening when there's not a whole lot of people. And then you can make a wish. Donate and make a wish fountain. Foundation fountain.
Make
Did you make
a
it? What was your wish?
Make a wish fountain.
Fountain.
Oh, the fountain.
Correct.
Foundation.
Foundation.
No.
I almost with that.
Disabilities?
Yeah. For your disability to go away or what?
Yeah.
How would
Yes. How would
Maybe.
they make it up the steps?
But like every year they'll drain the fountain and they'll collect the coins that are in there.
Oh,
And so they collect up to like 3 million euros.
What the heck?
And that goes to the infrastructure and like maintaining the fountain
That's a
and
lot of
like the area around it.
Mm.
But when I go
That's all my
again,
wish.
like I said, I mean, I think I used to go once. So that's it. And then next we walk from the Trevi Fountain to the Pantheon, which is only an 8-minute walk.
Another pantheon?
Yeah, that's what I
The
said.
There's
legit
so-
Pantheon.
Oh,
There's
this is
no
the real
Pantheon.
pantheon.
Yeah, yeah. The Paris one was like
It's a
a
fake?
yeah,
Or
similar but different.
Oh.
Rose
That's the
had
real
none.
one.
They were
So was the moon, dude.
closed.
Okay.
They were
Yeah, that's
closed.
Jesus.
Yeah. So we didn't get to go inside, but
It's just
we
nighttime?
roamed around outside. Anna and Henry read the placard out front.
Whoa.
I didn't do that. Yeah, we just roamed around, and then the columns there.
Uh-huh.
How many are there?
7.
Unknown. But anyways, 4 of those columns are the original columns
Oh,
from
yeah.
back when it was built, and so this is probably one of the most maintained like architecture that they have here, where you can still go inside. And so this one, you guys got the placard, but this has gone through like multiple uses. Like the uses can
Oh, Jesus. It's okay, it's okay.
wow. I don't know if you remember what they were used for,
But it's free admission for now.
but it's just closed at night.
Yeah.
But they were, I remember it being used as a church at one point, and then yeah.
What's the hole in the top right? What is that like? What is that? What am I looking at? It's like a hole?
Yeah, pretty cool.
Yeah,
That's all I gotta say.
for beauty, architect,
Oh,
to flex, so they can do that.
oh.
They made a dome.
And this is just a sphere
Ah.
with like a human in the middle. I don't know why. Our motivation to go, it was along the way, honestly, and it was cool. It was old. It was well preserved, you know. Stats, scenic. It was scenic. It was fun in terms of like seeing it at night with the lights turned on and like the people around. Where are you going?
We're going to Europe.
Goodbye, bye. In terms of accessibility, very accessible, walking distance. There are no steps here, so in terms of ADA accessibility, very easy. Except for the cobblestone, I will say it's a little bumpy if you're in a wheelchair.
Oh, that's really
Also with crutches, it'd probably be a little hard. And in terms of must do, read the info cards. Read the info cards like Anna and Henry did, although you don't remember what they read.
It was in
Was it in
it was
English?
in Italian.
Oh, cool. Take pictures, avoid street merchants, so like outside.
Oh.
There are street merchants, they're trying to sell stuff, and especially for like little kids, they have like little balls that they like, or like spinning things that they like throw up into the air and it like spins and lights up, so like little kids would want to buy it. And then going during the daytime when it's open and free admission. And then from there, we walked to the Spanish Steps, which is only a 15-minute walk.
Oh.
It's not bad, yeah.
Only one
We kind of just
trip.
like wandered around through the streets too.
Mm.
This is the Spanish Steps. I think usually there aren't flowers there, but the time that we went, they did have flowers, which is really nice.
Wait. Sorry.
What?
Sorry, is this from John Wick?
I thought thinking too.
Everything from John Wick.
I
Maybe
know,
I
I
had
didn't
to-
watch John Wick.
Okay, it might be. Alright, sorry.
Oh, maybe.
All those stairs?
But there's a little fountain in their front, and like as you can see at nighttime, there's not a whole lot of people. Usually during the daytime, people would like sit up and down the steps to take photos.
Oh, yeah.
But there's no one here, clearly. We went because it was scenic, and also very romantic with the flowers there. There's historic, 80% for scenic, 100% for fun.
Wow.
I had fun because we took a lot of photos there, and it was like fun, like sitting next to the flowers, taking photos together, taking photos separately. We had like a little photo shoot there, and it was great. In terms of accessibility, 80% because everything's in walking distance. In terms of ADA accessibility, yeah, you can't. It's just all steps.
That's crazy.
Yeah, but if you stay at the fountain area, you know, you'll be great. Yeah. And 100%, 75%, I would go back again. yeah, I had a lot of fun. But yeah, so must do. Go in the morning or the evening when there's no one there, or barely anyone there. Take pictures, go to the top for city views, and then smell the flowers that they have there, if they're there. And then from there, walk back to our Airbnb, which was only an 18-minute walk. So, you know,
A
but
lot of walking.
yeah, it's a lot of walking. But get your steps in. This is the food that we had that night.
Gelato.
This is our mid-dinner.
What do we mean by
You
mid?
said mid?
Yeah, mid.
Damn.
Look at it. It looks nice, right?
Yeah,
It's
it
hella
does.
big.
This.
Oh, what's that?
Overly salty is
Oh,
pasta.
I thought it
This
was
is
like
seafood
plastic.
pasta. Overly salty. It was like drinking
That's
ocean
just,
water.
that's just how they do it.
Wow.
This was also salty, but because there was cream there in it, it was like a shrimp, lobster, ravioli pasta. It wasn't as salty, and so for this restaurant that we went to, it was by our Airbnb. It had great reviews, and we went in wanting to like get a seat. But the waiters came out and then ushered us to like a segmented restaurant, which is right next to it.
Oh.
And there was only one other party in there, which is also like a tourist like family with all their kids and stuff. And so we ordered charcuterie board, which is not as good as the one in Paris. And then we also got mussels and clams. And then after our appetizers, or during our appetizers, we waited like 45 minutes to get our actual food. And by the time it came out, it was like cold.
What?
It was salty. Yeah.
It's
And
a
so
service.
I would say it's a mid dinner. If anything, low tier, bottom tier.
Damn.
Yeah, we weren't happy with this.
Yeah.
After this, we went back to the Airbnb and we just sat there kind of contemplating, like,
Oh.
are you people racist or what?
Yeah. Did we get
Yeah.
discriminated?
Yeah.
Probably did.
Yeah.
It's separate but equal.
It's probably not race, just tourists.
Wait a second.
Maybe they aren't tourists.
And then we like looked at the reviews for the restaurant that we went to, and like a lot of Asian people were like,
Oh.
shit's over salty, it was cold, blah blah blah.
What?
Um,
Dang.
But as we were leaving the restaurant, we walked out, and then the restaurant that we wanted to go to, it was like a lot of people in there, a lot of locals, drinking wine, and they were having fun. It was like popping in there, but the place that we were at was like, we were the only parties there left, and it wasn't as great.
Yeah.
But we picked ourselves up, you know,
Yeah,
after
gelato.
dinner, and then we went to Trevi Fountain and all that other stuff, and then we got gelato,
Yeah.
Nice.
as you should in Italy.
Looks kind of stuffed.
Yes. Day two. Day two is our full day in Rome. We had a full day. It was hot. There was a lot of walking, a lot of sweating as well. We took the bus over to Vatican City. There's only like a half-hour bus ride, but there was like some parade, traffic going on, and so the bus did stop for like a good 5-10 minutes.
Huh.
Still made it, and so this is Vatican City.
Wow. Whoa.
Yeah, so that's St. Peter's Basilica.
That's crazy.
But Vatican City itself is like its own entity. They have like their own security, or police as well.
Yeah. It's
But it was very beautiful there, as you can see.
Whoa.
Wow.
Did you see the Pope?
Yeah.
No.
No.
Did you guys pray?
Do we pray? No.
It wasn't Wednesday.
Correct. It was not mass.
Oh.
But the first place we went to was Sistine Chapel, which we had to buy tickets for. Henry can attest to that.
Is it
How
affordable?
much were the tickets?
They're pretty cheap, like $20
Yeah.
ish. But then you should book a month in advance, and they have a lot of bots booking it, so you might have to go through a
Bots?
third party.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
I see.
So third party is slightly more expensive, but they're most likely to have the tickets.
Yeah.
Oh.
What's that spiral thing is also a part of the chapel?
Yeah.
Oh, wait, what?
Is it
It's
crowded?
not
Yes,
there.
it was part of the chapel.
That's why it's in the
Sistine
slide.
Chapel.
Chapel, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So these are all the photos. Some of the photos that we took.
Wow.
Sistine Chapel, I think you guys know of it. So our motivation to go was because it was historic, because we're also very religious and scenic, and so a lot of people go there for like a pilgrimage, especially if you're Christian or Catholic. Stats, scenic, 80%, you know, fun, 30%. Mostly because when you get inside, there's a lot of people during the daytime, and it's kind of like a conveyor belt going through like the hallways. There are also a lot of tour guides, so like they'll stop in the
Yeah.
middle to like talk about the paintings and the art and stuff like that. In terms of accessibility, it's very crowded, but like everything's walking distance within Vatican City, of course. Also ADA accessible. There aren't any steps here, and everything is marble and smooth.
Wow.
Would I go again? 50%, half and half. I'm like, if someone told me that they want to go, I would go with them, but I wouldn't voluntarily go myself. Yeah.
I think I would probably go again, but I would probably do a tour. Because we probably walked past a lot of very significant art pieces and things of significance that we weren't aware of.
Yeah. So things that you must do there is look at the photo of the painting, Creation of Adam, which is in the Sistine Chapel, and it's like, there was a room where we couldn't take photos within, and so they had security guards making sure that nobody had their phones out and taking photos. It was just basically a giant room with like paintings on every wall on the ceiling, and so the Creation of Adam is in there, and that's at the end after you get through the whole museum. And then the stairwell that you saw in the beginning, that was built in 1932. It was more so like based off of someone else's architecture. And then paintings and statues, of course, they're beautiful. It's also a little overwhelming because as you're walking through the hallway and aisles, there's painting left, right, and up top, and then also the floor is beautiful, right? So it's like it's hard to like take in everything. But if you were to go, I would take it slow and just take in all the paintings and the work. And then next we went to the St. Peter's Basilica, which is a giant church where the Pope is. And so this is the center of it, and then this is like the list of all the popes that have ever come into power. There's still a lot left. And then marble, statues.
You're just gonna walk around everywhere? Wow. So it's like open to the public. You don't need tickets.
It's free, yeah. So you can, you just have to line up to get inside. Yeah. And so it's very scenic. It was fun. It was very quiet in there, and we just took a lot of photos in terms of accessibility.
No?
Very accessible because in Vatican City, you just walk there, you just wait in line. In terms of ADA accessibility,
No?
half. Because there is a downstairs area where the tombs are for the popes, and so you do need to go down like a spirally like staircase to get there. If you were handicapped, you probably would not be able to do that. Our motivation to go was because it's holy, it's historic, and it was also free. Would I go again? Half. Like I saw everything in there, but if someone else wanted to go, I'd be like, alright, yeah, I'll go. Must do, pray if you're religious. Visit the tombs, which is underground. There's like a little like stairway, narrow stairway where you go down, and you see the tombs of the previous popes. You can also attend mass on a weekday or holy mass on a Sunday, and then take a look at the list of popes that have ever existed before.
Another thing though is about St. Peter's Basilica, and I'm not sure if it was the same for the Sistine Chapel, but you have to dress very conservatively. So cover your shoulders and no, you can't show below your knee.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then Sam and myself, we wore like a little more conservative, and we went home to change afterwards because
Good to know.
So the guys, they wore long pants going there, but then it was a very hot day, so yeah, we just said afterwards we went home to change into shorts.
Interesting.
you wearing shorts?
Yeah.
You wearing shorts?
Huh?
He wore shorts.
Oh my god.
What?
Straight to hell.
And then from there we just took the bus back home and we changed, and then we just walked to the Coliseum.
Whoa.
Coliseum.
What?
I think you guys all know what the Coliseum is. It's very ancient. Gladiators fought here.
Are there people that stay in the Coliseum that live in the
sorry?
Coliseum?
No.
Okay.
What?
It's a historical landmark.
Correct. It's historic, scenic, and it's very cool, right? It's like being a part of history, and like just like touching the walls.
That's crazy.
You get to touch the walls?
Yeah.
Didn't
They've done the renovations as well,
Oh.
and so they've like restored parts of it. Yeah, and so it was very scenic. It was very fun. Also very accessible. Yeah, I would go back again. 65%. I would.
Were there any like reenactors? Of, like,
No.
No. Yeah, I take it.
It was just a lot of people, like tour groups, like going around in circles around the Colosseum, because it's just like a giant circle, right? So a must do is to walk around. You don't have to like necessarily walk the full circle around, because I think you're getting the same view wherever you are. It's also 1900 years old. It's the largest amphitheater, and it's one of the 7 wonders of the world.
What? Sheesh.
So you guys should definitely go. You do have to book tickets in advance. And I recall Henry trying to book tickets directly, but they were sold out, so he booked through a third party. But we managed to get in, and it was great. So I would definitely recommend going to the Colosseum if you haven't been before. Right next to it is the Roman Forum, which is just like back in the olden days. It was like the largest market that existed in the Roman Empire. And so there were a lot of things that took place here. It was just like a giant like little city that it still remains with the architecture.
That's
and, like,
crazy.
yeah.
Yeah, and they're still digging things up to this day.
Yeah, our motivation to go is because it was historic, scenic, and it was included with our tickets.
Oh, you need tickets going there.
Yeah.
Yeah, to the Colosseum it's included.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So it's one of the oldest markets. It's the oldest market. And then in the forum, there are 2 temples that people usually go to: Temple of Saturn, and then Temple of Castor and Pollux. It's also the largest inner city archaeological area in the world that is still remains and like people go to see. Obviously, you want to take photos when you're there. So 85% I would go again. We spent a lot of time in the Colosseum, but I wish we spent more time at the Roman Forum. It was just like a mini city that is like dead, but it would have been great to like walk around like on the lower steps down there and like in the streets and stuff.
But it's just because you didn't have time?
Yeah, yeah. We spent too much time at the Colosseum, and so Henry looked at the reviews, and a lot of people wish they spent more time here at the Roman Forum, which I am also on the same boat, and I think you guys are also on the same boat. We wish we spent more time here instead of the Colosseum. Colosseum is cool, but it's just like a giant circle, and you can walk around. Yeah.
We only went to the viewpoint too of
Yeah.
the Forum to look at all the different places, but we didn't actually have time to go down because I think they're closing soon, right?
Yeah, they were closing
What?
soon.
For
Yeah.
the day.
Yeah.
For the day.
Yeah.
Not like for people.
Yeah, forever.
And then from there we took a bus to the little district. It's called Trastevere, which is like a very popular like food place. And this is the vibes there. It's like the sun was setting and it was like golden hour, like all the lights were turning on, people were lining up to eat. It was just beautiful. And I think so this is the food, this is our dinner here. We have pasta, seafood pasta, a carbonara, and then 2 red tomato based pastas. And then we had a salad and then we had pizza.
They serve it in the pans, wow.
I know. We waited an hour.
What?
to be here.
More.
More than an hour. Because we were in the wrong line. We were in the wrong line.
And I want to sit down, okay.
Correct. And then we had to go to the other line for like a bigger group to be seated. But yeah, it was good. And then we had 2 bottles of white wine here. And then we also had gelato.
2 bottles?
We had tiramisu. Yes, 2 bottles. And then during the day, honestly, I don't remember if we ate breakfast. But that pizza, those slices, that is between 2 people. That's what we had during the day.
That's not true. We had breakfast at the Sistine Chapel.
What did we eat?
We had bread. Paninis and coffee. And you had a croissant.
I don't remember the paninis or the
Henry got
coffee
yelled at
or the
for
croissant.
ordering paninis. Remember?
You're not supposed
She
to.
was like, "What do you want?"
Ah, I remember. It was a cafeteria. It was a cafeteria in the Vatican City. I got a croissant. It was
Why'd you get yelled at
Yeah,
for
why'd you get
paninis?
yelled at?
Well, she was just.
Cause she was, she was just like in Italian to us, like, "You want a panini, but what panini do you want?"
Oh.
It's part of the experience.
But
Yes.
like on the menu, it just said panini. We didn't know we had an
You're
option.
stupid, American.
What kind of
But yeah, I don't have pictures of that.
What's
That
a
was for
panini
dinner.
for their panini?
That was okay. In terms of transportation, you take a bus, and then these are the tickets that you use. And you just tap it on the little console here. But when we got the tickets, we couldn't tap it. these were broken, they were out of
Oh.
order. But thank God no one like came on like checked tickets because otherwise it would have been a fine of 100 euros.
God dang.
And they charge you on the spot.
Oh.
Yeah. Can't even be like, sure, I'll pay you later.
Yeah. But the transportation was interesting. And also the driving in Rome was a little hectic as well. Oh, that's fun. So fun facts, gelato in canisters
What?
are more authentic than the gelato that is like stacked up in like a little mound. So these are like the authentic ones apparently, and they're supposed to be more natural and like better using real ingredients instead of like dyes like flavoring.
Oh, you use the mouse.
Free water.
Water, okay.
Move.
Oh, y'all
This is
trust-
actually in the Sistine Chapel.
Whoa, is that
It
clean?
was within Vatican City.
What kind of
Is
sus down
Is
there?
that clean water?
It's holy water.
It's
Oh,
holy
shit, it's highly
water.
clean.
Oh, they got holy water on tap. Wow.
It's a little laggy, but there's free water. And
Oh, why is it like a duck?
I don't know. It's ancient times. You tell me.
Oh.
But it's free water, and the water was good in comparison to the London water that we
That's
had.
holy.
It's legit holy, bro.
London water is unholy.
It is. It's also oily. And so in Rome, in Rome, the meal times are a bit longer. Nobody will rush you. Nobody will just give you the check.
Huh.
So it's like you would go there and then you have to ask for the check, and it's like you spend however X amount of time you want there. And then there's a lot of cobblestones in Rome, and then also in Venice as well. And so if you're traveling, it would be a great idea to like bring a backpack instead of
A purse or something?
a rolly bag,
Uh,
a rolly luggage. In terms of attire, they're not as casual as America. I mean, you guys know this. Everyone is like dressed up to an extent with makeup, and like also they look better than us.
More put together.
More put together. Sorry. Like athleisure wear is not a thing there,
Oh,
right? You
interesting.
only wear that when you're exercising. So like people are like dressed nicely. They look presentable on a day-to-day basis.
Oh, bummer.
Yeah.
Otherwise they'll like
I'm not
judge you or
going
something. They probably will
Okay,
judge you.
well, some common phrases. Italian language is also very similar to Spanish language. So like yes is si, no, ciao, hello, goodbye.
Bonjour.
Buongiorno is good morning. Buonasera is good evening. Grazie, thank you. Por favore,
Por favor.
thank you. Prego is please, and then scusi is excuse me. Leaving Rome. So this is where we went separate. Anna and Henry took the train to the airport, and then they flew out back to the States, and then Sam and I took a train to Venice. And then this is the Venice section of it, and so these are just a collage of like the photos that I took. We actually had like 3 days here. We had a half day. I didn't edit this picture or edit this past. Partial day. It was raining, so we kind of just rested
Oh, the whole
this day. We didn't do a whole lot, I'll be honest. We just checked into our hotel and we had the best dinner.
Wow.
Yeah.
Pasta? Question mark?
Well, yes. So we took the train from Rome to station Venezia, and then from there we took two taxis, boat taxis.
Wow.
And so you had to pay. There's stations here for you to pay to like hop onto the taxis, and then the bus stop is essentially just a little port area,
That's
like
so
a
cool.
pier, like a mini pier for you to like hop onto and just wait for the boat to dock and then pick you up, and then yeah. And so ours took us directly to our hotel. Oh, and then also like our train ride was like 3.5 hours long, which is not bad. Time flies because there's Wi-Fi, and then you just like bring food with you and just kind of enjoy the train ride. And so like along the way you see the countryside of Italy, and it was very
Did you stop in at Florence? Did you
No.
get to see it?
No. I would go back to Italy to go to Florence.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then south of Italy, like Lake Como and other stuff as well. This is our hotel. It was Dio, which is like a small, like luxury hotel.
Big reveal.
Eh?
Yeah.
Eh?
Oh.
There you
Ooh. It's like a very like low key hotel. Like there isn't any signage for it. The only sign is on the wall
That's
here.
our front door?
Yeah,
Oh,
that was
nice.
the door. That was the
Oh,
bathroom.
back.
That's where you wash your butt.
the
bidet.
bidet.
Oh, this is separate
Mhm.
bidet.
Yeah.
Very rustic style,
Mhm.
but big.
Mhm. And it's like water canal on the outside.
Oh.
This is like the living room area.
Oh.
That's Sam.
It comes with a sand.
It comes with a man's.
Wow.
And there's a TV and
Full
there's like a
service.
That's
bed.
kind of expensive.
Luxury.
Yeah, it's like a mini luxury hotel.
Wow.
Yeah,
How many euros per night was it? 250, 300.
300 plus. Yeah, but it's free with points. So
Oh, I see.
think about it. And then you get free drinks
Oh, free.
and free coffee.
Oh.
as well.
Free.
Yeah, free. And it includes breakfast as well. Oh, okay. Well, we're done with that. Yeah. So for dinner, we just walked to a nearby restaurant that was recommended by the front office staff, Nevoti. And this is our
Nevoti.
dinner.
The best
Whoa,
dinner
what is
ever.
that?
Literally.
Those beats were
Best dinner ever.
So we started off with a bottle of wine, red wine. Probably one of the best bottles of red wines that I've drank. And it's from the region. Can't pronounce it.
Oh,
But
yes.
it's one of the regions where I bought the red wine from Grocery Outlet here.
Wait, what?
Who scoffed? You scoffed.
The same thing?
It's from the same region.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Oh, take it back.
hmm And then so we started off with tuna tartare,
Oh, tuna.
which is so fresh and so good. And then we also had pasta. This was the crab pasta. This is also like a crab lasagna.
Wow.
And then we had dessert, which is like tiramisu and like some alcoholic fruit and ice cream.
It's like squidding.
That sounds good.
Yeah, the squid pasta.
Whoa, what is
So this is our full day in Venice. Less rain, it was a lot of exploring and eating. So these were places that we went to. Could not tell you what they are because Sam planned it. But this is also very iconic. And this plaza in the middle is also very iconic. I don't
Yeah, what is
know,
that?
maybe Claudia, you can explain what plaza this is in the middle?
Tell me, sir.
San Marco?
Correct,
Whoa.
San Marco, Plaza
Wow.
San Marco. You needed tickets to get into some of these places, but we didn't book them, so, and it was also very rainy. We just walked by, took photos.
Do you get the ride to Gonfalves?
No, they're $80 per ride, per
Oh,
person.
Yeah.
$80 per person per ride.
80
Sound
euros or?
Pass.
Hey, when it Venice?
I
Yeah.
was like, I don't need it. This is the food that we ate this day.
You can see they ate way more.
So what we ate in Venice, in accumulation, is 10 times more than we ate in London and Paris. So in Venice, we kind of just, I looked up like places or things that they're known for. So in the morning, we had a buffet style breakfast that was included in the hotel. And then we just walked around. We got like fritte, which is like basically fried seafood. We got gelato, and then we got arancini, which is basically rice with like cheese, like meat inside, and it's like deep fried or fried rice ball, basically. And then so Venice is known for cichette, which is basically slices of bread with toppings on top. And so that's what we got. We also got like a glass of like their house wine. And then for dinner we got clear pasta, shrimp pasta, some panna cotta, and then we went to like a wine bar full of locals. And we drank there. Day 3, yes. Day 3, so with our hotel, they included a free glass factory tour. So they have their own boat that you can just.
What? Get out of here.
Yeah. So they have their own boat where you can just sign up the morning of, and then it's like their own private boat, and they'll take you to Murano, which is like an island known for glass blowing there. And so we got a free tour of the glass factory.
Wow.
We got a free show of like the artist making the glass.
Separate island?
What's Piranha? Oh,
Separate
that's
island.
not
And then
mine.
Burano Island is another island where they make lace. We also went there, and then we also went souvenir shopping on this day. And so
Whoa, not
that was a
boat.
private boat. These are like some of the small things that they make, and then these are some of the photos
Ooh, a
from
cat.
Burano Island.
It's really
Hey, it's so cute.
it's interesting glass character.
They also have free water here too, so if you're thirsty, just drink
Wow.
Yeah.
Is that someone's house? Or what is that like?
Yeah.
Ah.
Oh, what's this?
Ooh,
Glass blowing, I think.
Surprise.
Correct.
Oh.
That's the artiste.
The maestro.
He's blowing. He's shaping glass, hot glass. Oh, that's it. Okay, well, he shaped that into a horse.
Wow.
Wow.
Yes.
Oh wow.
And then next we went to Burano. Actually, before I do that, here, let me pass around.
Whoa.
On Will's request, this is a glass from
The factory?
the factory.
Burano.
Wow.
Yes, from Rhode Island. It's glass blown. You can see, you can feel on the bottom too, is where
So
they
excited.
cut it off.
Don't give it to Will.
I keep dropping with excitement.
So that's the glass, and that was the same glass that they had at the
What if I
hotel.
test its durability?
No, I could not tell you that. But that was the same glass that they had in the bathrooms at the hotel. So they like have a contract with each
So
other.
you stole it.
I did
Wait a
almost
second.
though, but I
Wait a
bought that. I bought that at the actual factory. What the hell?
That's so cool.
So yeah, I thought it was really pretty and I could color a lot, so I bought it. And yeah, and on the bottom you could tell that they like chopped it off and like kind of sanded it
Yeah,
down.
it looks and feels real instead
Yeah.
of factory made.
I also bought something else.
Like the handbag? Oh, your pass.
No, sorry.
Oh, the handbag, yeah.
Hold on.
The hand.
Just flexing on it. It's very sturdy.
Sorry, there's a lot of trash in here.
That's alright.
Ready?
Dokuga. Please hold.
Is it
Italian
glass?
Wait, intermission.
Correct.
Milan?
Oh, here it is.
What Venetian glass.
This is also Burano glass.
What is that?
It's a bag.
It's a bag
It's a
holder.
flower?
Wait, what?
So you
I
put
don't
on
know
the
if you
table.
guys seen this. Yeah.
Bag holder?
What?
So
Confusion.
this is Murano glass, and like you just hook it
Oh.
on the side of the table like this, and then you hook your bag inside here.
Oh.
It's a bag holder, essentially.
I've never heard of
It's also Murano glass.
Magnetic.
No, it's just like there's a thing where it like holds onto the table, or like
suction?
it's flush against the table.
Physics, guys.
Mhm.
It's physics? Wait, what?
Yeah, you guys got it.
Physics.
Oh, because it's
Yeah.
underneath it. Oh, okay.
Mhm. And passing to left and right. So I bought both of those at the Murano Glass Factory. And then next we went to the island of Burano, which is known for their colorful houses. And so it's colorful because there's fog there sometimes. And so like it's easier for fishermen back in the day to like see the houses when they're colorful like this. There are a lot of cats there.
Wow. So cute.
This clock tower was leaning.
Hey, yo.
But yeah, as you can see, it's very colorful. And they're known for their lace making. And then we got 2-3 glasses of it. It was good.
So did we.
Aperol
I'm
strip.
sorry. Aperol spritz. And oh, there's also, so there's 2 different ones here. One is Aperol spritz, which is this one is the orange one, and the red one is
Campari spritz.
Campari spritz, yeah. Which is more bitter and less sweet than the Aperol spritz.
Yeah.
Sam was not a fan of it. It's like more grapefruit
Yeah.
flavor. Yeah. It's still good though. And then transportation, you can boat taxi of course. They also have public transportation, which is like a boat bus. Which is like more room and stuff for people to like pack in and like go. And then there are ferries that you can take. A lot of walking. So this is the booth where you would buy your tickets. Some of the islands don't have the ticket machines, so make sure you buy it prior. Luckily we had tickets, but someone did hop onto the boats and check tickets to see if
Oh, wow.
everyone had a ticket.
Wait,
For
if,
the-
if they might catch you without a ticket, they might just throw you overboard.
Man overboard.
Perhaps they fine you,
Oh.
but yeah, they fine you a good amount.
Walk the plank, bro.
Yeah,
Better not as well.
very Canal City. leaving Venice, we had a very early flight. And so right outside of the hotel, there was a direct shuttle to the airport, the Venice airport. It makes stops along the way, but we left at like 6 in the morning or 5:30 in the morning. And we took the shuttle directly to the airport in Venice, and then we left from there. Yeah, we were the only ones
What?
up and early that on that boat. Yeah. And then tips.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, that's me. Common scams. Pickpocketing is very common, especially in very crowded areas and like the Trevi Fountain, the Coliseum, any place where you're packed together with other people. Yeah, like the trains and like out in public, and it's like, the people just kind of. The pickpocketers, they have like large bags themselves, and they put their arm underneath their bag, and like they kind of hover the bag over your bag, and just kind of like, and then take it, right? So just be aware.
You know from experience.
From videos, probably.
Okay.
I was never pickpocketed.
I felt like it was
I'm
more
like, I can never.
common in Rome.
Italy, in general.
In Italy.
Yeah, but it's very common to be pickpocketed. And then there are also unofficial ticket sellers in the Coliseum, especially because it's hard to get tickets, especially if you don't order ahead of time. There are a lot of unofficial ticket sellers or like gatherers where they'll sell you tickets on like extremely expensive, but you're also included in like a tour group as well. And so these people are unofficial, but they have badges where you would think that they work there. Yeah. But like the people that do this, they're immigrants, so to say. Like
Entrepreneurs.
yeah, entrepreneurs. But you can tell that they're not like the typical like Italian people. They're like immigrants that come and like try to just make money in general. And then other scams like bracelets and roses, like people will put bracelets on you and be like, oh, it's free, and then they'll ask for donations afterwards. People that sell roses, especially in Paris, because like very romantic and like where the Eiffel Tower is. And then also another scam was people that are dressed like certain characters, like Mickey Mouse. They'll come in, photobomb your photo, and then charge you for having them in their photo. And so, like, you never ask for them to be in your photo, but like, if you're like taking photos and someone just comes in, then yeah, they'll charge you for money. Yeah.
Were there any other scams that anyone ran into while in Europe?
Yeah. I'm like,
I think like in general, if people approach you
Mhm.
do something, it's like just ignore
oh,
them.
absolutely.
That's the biggest thing.
Yeah.
I think. Like stuff like that, or there's some people
Mhm.
that like have those like they pretend they're working for some charity group and ask you to sign and ask you
Yeah.
for money.
Yeah, they ask for donations,
Yeah.
like support a cause and stuff like that. So like in instances like that, what you would do is just ignore them and you walk away.
Yeah.
And I will say, Sam,
I remember that.
he was stopped twice.
Oh, wow.
He was stopped twice, and he stopped to talk to them like they were actual people. I mean, they are actual people. But I'm like, you don't want to like make too much conversation with them because then you get caught up, and then it's like, well, then you're kind of like a little bit invested as well. But yeah, that, and then also people put out souvenirs for you to buy on the floor, especially in busy areas. And then sometimes you would accidentally damage it if you're not paying attention of where you're walking, and then they'll ask you for money for the stuff that you damaged or like stepped on, etc., etc. Yeah.
And then another one is not so much a scam, but when we were waiting in line for our time to go into the Coliseum, there were entrepreneurs there selling water out of their backpacks, and they actually, the Italian police have a lot of crackdown on these sort of scammers and stuff like that. So the police on motorcycle actually came by, and then they put all their water back into their backpacks, and they actually had a chase on motorcycle for one of them.
That's so funny.
And the guy was just running with his backpack full of water
That's
bottles.
fucked up.
And then once the police left, everyone bought their water back out.
Yeah.
So not so much of a scam, but
Cheap.
Yeah.
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 So like, at the Coliseum specifically, if you were to see anyone with like a little blue badge that says public, any public, right? Yeah. And so it's like once the police come through, they put their badge away.
That's so
immediately.
funny.
Yeah.
Like you'll never see that badge. But like as soon as the police leave,
So, like, what are you talking
they take their badge back out.
It's so
And
funny.
like people that sell water there, they also sell like chargers, they sell like fans and stuff. Basically stuff that you would want to use like when you're waiting in line, right? But yeah, so if you were to see police and you see that everyone put their badge away, then you can tell that they're like unofficial ticket sellers.
Yeah.
And yeah. There's gonna be conversion rates. which
Yeah.
is-
Next one is like conversion rates, right? Another tip is that it might be worthwhile if you're pre-buying your tickets or even like our train ride to Paris, we booked it in euros instead of in USD because when we did the math, hey, we bought it in euros and converted to USD, it's actually cheaper than paying the USD price. So that's something to consider too when you're booking your tickets and flights or other things that you can do online, right? You can choose to buy in euros or in pounds instead. Like even online for like purses and stuff like that, there's like free shipping to the US on like the UK website. You can buy in pounds instead. And right now, like the conversion rates are very similar too, and that's what they said at the time we were traveling, that the US dollar is very strong right now in Europe. So remember that the UK is not part of the European Union anymore, so they have their own currency. Yeah. And then I use this app called My Currency Converter, and it's pretty intuitive to use. And then VAT. So VAT, unlike the US where we have sales tax, in Europe, or I mean other countries too, right? In UK and the European Union, VAT or tax is already included in the price of things, and they just itemize it out for you. So like the prices of these food items that we bought already includes the tax in here, and they just tell you how much on the receipt these items, how much of these items value is in taxes. So let's say if you were to buy like a handbag or something that's very expensive, you can get a refund on it because the purpose of value added tax is for consumption on the country, in the country. But for tourists, when you're buying a handbag or something really expensive that you're not going to be consuming in the country and you're bringing home, for example, you can get a refund of the tax that you paid there. And you do that with a VAT refund, which is typically whenever you leave that area. So for the EU, when you leave the EU is when you would process your refund. So in the case for us, when we were going from Paris to Rome, the sales associates in Paris told us, oh, you don't actually have to do the refund until you're actually leaving the EU. So for me, it was when I was leaving Rome. That's when I did the VAT refund at the airport. And then for Crystal, it's when she left to Venice.
And you just hold on to all your receipts?
They actually, for sales associates, when you're buying like luxury goods, they give you a little processed document that you can take to these machines at the airport to process. For me in Rome, I don't know if it was the same for Crystal, you had to get a stamp from customs actually, and for some people they actually examine the product that you purchased to make sure it is what it is and that you didn't actually use it because you're not supposed to be using it because otherwise you'd be consuming it in the country, right? I'm not sure if that's what it is in Japan or other countries and what Crystal's experience was.
In Japan?
In Venice.
In Venice, it's the same thing. You also need a stamp from customs confirming, and then you just drop it off. So for me, there were 2 items. For the Paris one, you have to like ship back to Paris for them to validate, which is like in like this red mailbox that you drop it in. But for the other items, they just accept it there at the VAT desk. But there are multiple desks. But when we went there, they were open at like crack of dawn at like 6 a.m., 7 a.m.
Yeah, so our flight was at like 7:30, and then customs didn't open till 7. So we were scrambling. We were first in line, waiting for customs to open, and I would say the Italians aren't the most patient people. So if you didn't really understand what they meant the first time, a little bit nervous to ask again. So yeah, we witnessed firsthand someone getting yelled at by the people saying like, oh, if you're checking in your luggage, you do it in there. If you're carrying on your luggage, you do it here. That kind of stuff. So just maybe look up ahead of time. How it's possible. And then food and snacks.
Oh, right. The food and snacks. The portion sizes are a lot smaller. Not a lot smaller, but they're smaller than American sizes. And so when you finish your meal, you're not necessarily like full, but you're not hungry either. It's like a perfect amount of food. And then for chips and chocolates, we've noticed that the quality is better than what they sell here in America, especially in France for like chocolate and chips. They're less oily. They're a little bit better in
Higher
general.
quality cocoa.
Higher
We don't
quality.
use black, we use black.
Correct, for chocolate. So in chocolates, the chocolates that are sold here, there's like a waxy layer to the chocolate here. Yes. But if you were to buy chocolates in like Paris or like London or like the EU in general, including London or UK because it's not a part of the EU, their quality is a lot better and like they regulate it a lot more, and so there are certain ingredients that they can't include in chocolates. And so when I got chocolates in Paris, I made sure to like savor it because the quality is definitely better there. And it's like also I've also noticed that after our meals and like with all the walking and stuff, your digestion overall is a lot better. It's better, right? And it's like the quality of food there is immaculate. And then in terms of gelato, I think I've said this before, but you want to look for the gelato places where they use the tin canisters. Those are a bit more authentic and they use like natural ingredients. In comparison to the gelatos that are like stacked high up like a mountain, which is a lot in the touristy areas. So you have to do your research for gelato in places that have the tin cans. Yeah, and the food quality overall in Europe and the UK is just high quality. Person here, and I think you guys all know or like have heard of people saying that like, oh, I'm gluten intolerant here in the States, but like once they get over to like Italy, they're like, I can eat pasta and bread and it's fine. So
That's crazy.
yeah, so I would recommend if you were to go to your Italy, Paris, even the UK, I would maybe stock up on snacks and like food places or food in general, like pasta, sauces if you can, but chips, chocolates, and pasta, dry pasta. Yeah.
Oh yes, and then like in the UK, there was a lot of contactless pay, which I mentioned, like on the buses and stuff like that. But even at restaurants, a lot of San Francisco restaurants do this now too though. They bring the pay machines to your table and you pay there.
Yeah.
It's not so fun here because you have to select the tip like on the spot for them as well. But then in the UK or like in other places you don't tip, right? Or you don't have to tip. It's not a common practice there. So they just bring the machine to you and then you tap it. And apparently it's a very culture shock thing when people from the EU come to America and then they're like, they take my card to the back and swipe it. Like that's super sus to them. But to us it's so common, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, to them they bring the machine out and then you can contactless pay there. Like we didn't have bills, I feel like. We barely had bills in the currency there. But it helps to have some cash. Like when I need to use that restroom, it was like €2. So they don't take card. You have to get €2 out of somewhere. And also we went to a gelato place where the machines were broken down, so luckily we had cash. And just some general travel tips for traveling in general. Is, to counter jet lag, we struggled. Like there were moments where I felt dizzy, I wasn't, like okay, but you had to just hang on because we were here for a long time, right? It's just to stay up until it's nighttime and wherever you are. That will help with the transitioning of your jet lag. And documentation of your passport, even where you're staying, what hotels you're staying at. Take a picture of all those things to have it on your phone should they ever be lost. You have a backup. Even though it might not be valid, at least you can prove who you are to some extent and prove where you're staying. And in terms of flying, definitely wear loose clothing and try to elevate your feet as well as a neck pillow. We flew United and they fed us really well. There was so many meals, even though they weren't the best meals, at least it was food. But we've been on flights, like the flight from Paris to Rome, where there was no food, not even water.
Also to Iceland.
And Iceland.
No food.
No food, no water for 8 hours, so you might bring your own food. And also just if you don't like the food flying in general, you can bring your own. Definitely noise cancellation, if not the headphones for music or the AirPods. just noise canceling in general. Like it's such a relief having all that like very noise.
The airplane with white noise to be cancelled out.
Yeah.
So if you have noise cancellation, that's great.
Yeah.
And then also headphone jacks for the movies that you want to watch
Exactly.
using your own headphones. I'd also recommend like compression socks or compression leggings, just so that to help with your blood flow and stuff like that.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, leggings are not it, guys. Leggings and jeans, don't do it. And then going through TSA and check bags. If you have anything that you think might be flagged for TSA, pull them out and put them in a separate bag. Like, do not put them in your luggage because then they're going to have to search through your entire luggage and they mess it up and they don't put it back correctly. So things you think might be flagged.
And if you think that they're gonna pull it out, you would put those items on the top of your luggage. Yeah. So they're not rummaging through your whole luggage and like pulling everything out, right? And it's like your dirty underwear, like pull that shit out.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Some things that got flagged for me, I'm the one who always gets flagged.
Always.
Is a bag of coins. Apparently it looked like a weapon.
She had like a bag of coins, like
They're pounds.
no, but like they were a bag of coins. Coins is fine,
I
right?
stuck them onto a piece of paper.
So they're like individual, like stuck onto a piece of paper, and they thought that.
Like they thought it was a weapon because it was like a
Like a
solid
circuit
piece of metal. And then hot hands, you know, like hand
Oh,
warmers.
yeah.
They even brought the air marshal out because they were like, I don't know if you can fly
Yeah.
with this.
Oh,
Yeah. So like those things, like pull them out and put them in a separate bucket. Going through customs, there's this thing called TSA pre-check where you can purchase how many years?
5 years
5 years
for $80.
for $80, where you can skip a line to some extent, where you don't have to take your shoes off and it's just less stringent and shorter lines as well. And if you're traveling internationally and you're coming back to the US, you can sign up for this free thing called MPC, which is Mobile Passport Control, and you skip the line for customs. And also check that your passport and visa doesn't expire like 90 days before you come back, because you won't be able to come back. And you might not even be able to, you might be able to go there, but you might not be able to enter. So you don't want to waste the flight for that.
The TSA pre-check also works like if you have the global entry pass, which can be written off with like your American Plat card if you have one, or like the Chase Reserve, I also think. But if you don't have any of those credit cards, you can suffice with just TSA pre-check, which is $80 for 5 years, and like you just get through security quickly. For the global entry, it's easy for you to get through customs when you come back. But if you have the MPC, which is free, it's a government app. You just download it, put in your passport information. You skip the line for customs, and you just go straight to the MPC line. And so when Sam and I came back from Venice, we literally skipped the line. The line was like down to the bathroom. We skipped it. We got through customs within like 5 minutes, and then we were out of there.
Yeah,
So
we signed up on the spot.
we signed up on the spot.
Okay.
Like it's very quick. Yeah.
And then this is their last section about planning, just how we plan our trips. How we normally do it is that we select the attractions that we want to go